You're listening to UFO Undercover with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday night edition of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. Kurt says, good to see you, too. I'm having a great day, brother. Host of Into the Night, me, Sean Kelly, your host. And I just want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And I also want to... the person that is sponsoring my show for the month of May, which is Bigfoot month. Okay. And here's the little thing I have. It says, come see Runa, psychic medium and palm reader at the Steel Goat Marketplace, Rhode Island Road, Penn Hills, PA. It's a great little gift shop, and they have the beautiful plant and flowers at their garden center. And don't forget, ladies, especially you, the first Thursday of the month is Ladies' Night from 5 to 8, okay? And see Runa there to get a reading. Now, I know Runa, and she's a very good reader. Hey, John J. Nicholas, good to see you, sir. And so it is Runa, the psychic medium, who is sponsoring my show for the month of May. Also, before I go on, I want to wish every mom out there happy Mother's Day to you all, ladies. Okay, happy Mom's Day. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Happy Mom's Day to you. See, what else do I have this Tuesday coming up for Bigfoot month? I got Tim and Eric Vogel, the Vogel brothers. They will be on Tuesday night, and they're going to talk about their experiences with the Bigfoot. Mark Eddy, good to see you, sir. But I am real interested in my guest tonight. We were chatting for about a week. Hey, Michelle, good to see you, hon. And last week, she watched the show, and hey, Squatch Man, hang around, brother. You're going to love this one. I got so interested in it. I am so thrilled. I am so happy that that she agreed to come on the show tonight. Um, and without further ado, I would like you to introduce my guest, Donna Copas. I hope I said that right. Donna Copas. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Donna Copas. And she's going to talk about the Watchers. So, hey, Donna, welcome.
Hello.
Happy Mother's Day.
Well, thank you. I'm
Why
a
don't you tell
mother,
us a little,
grandmother.
and a great grandma probably pretty soon.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. So tell my people, a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm of Shawnee descent. My grandmother's full-blooded Shawnee, and I grew up in the country. I've been in the hills my whole life. My dad was a hunter, a trapper. We dug roots. That was part of our living. So I spent my childhood. The farm I grew up on was like a 400-acre farm. And so I spent a lot of time in the woods. I was a terrible wild child. I would run to the barn, grab the pony, and take off. And God help my poor grandma. But so that's how I grew up. And the Watchers, we don't call them Bigfoot. We call them the Watchers. There's
Why
kind
is
of a
that?
Shawnee.
Why is that?
Well, there's a Shawnee legend that goes with that, which I was taught as a child. Now, this is their story. This is stories handed down to me. So the way it was told to me was they called them the Moon-Eyed people came, and they had children with the Shawnee people. Now, this don't mean that this is not the Watchers, but the Watchers were left behind to guard their children. Now, this is what I've been taught, it's like that when you see, we have like the marker stones, you'll find like the piles of rocks or whatever in the woods, the wood, like the teepee shelter type things. I've been taught those are clan symbols, that kind of thing. So there's a whole legend that goes with that. So that's why we call them the Watchers. They are here to watch over the people and guard us and protect us. They are like part of our family.
Okay, so to everybody out there, the Watchers, they call it from the Shawnee and where Donna lives, they call them the Watchers, not Bigfoot, which I find that's very, very interesting. I think it has a better name to it than Bigfoot. Do you know what I mean? It gives them a little bit more respect. So what you were saying is the Watchers protected the human beings too?
What I was told was, no, not that there's not good and bad, just like there's good and bad in every person, in every species. I've been taught there's not good and bad. There's good ones, there's bad ones, there's dangerous, not so dangerous. But the purpose that I was taught was they're here to watch over and protect us. And what I also found out through my dad and my grandma before that, because they both interacted that I know of, I'm sure generations back, because here I have letters that goes all the way back to 1797. That's from my family. And that they lived in the woods in a cabin. It's called Buzzard Roost. And that's where my dad was born. He's born in 1927. But when my dad got, of course, he was 84 and he had a stroke and he's still on the farm. And when I moved him here, I'm kind of getting ahead of my story here, but
take your time. We got an hour. Take your time.
But when he had me bring Mom over before because she got sick first, and I bought 30 acres here. I moved off my big farm. I lost my my husband and my youngest son in a car accident 30 years ago. And I bought this place. And then when Mom got sick, I took care of my grandma, my mom, my dad. So I moved. He said, bring Mom over and I'll come over, right? Well, 4 years later, he had a stroke and I moved him off the farm. But within a month of me moving my dad here, when I built my house, my bedroom, because I sat right up against the woods. I like the woods, and I spend my time in the woods. That's my pleasure. So I put big plate glass windows that, when I had windows that raised up. And at this time I had the old time, even my door that came out of my bedroom, I would come out in the backyard. It had, what the old time screen doors are, they're just screened. They're not like a storm door. They're the old time screen doors, and they're just screened. And that's what I had on my bedroom because I'd open the windows. My water comes from springs. I don't have city water. I have springs that feeds my house. Don't even have to have a well pump. So back under there in the summertime, I open my windows. I have a creek that goes beside my house. And that breeze, I don't need an air conditioner. It's cool. But I leave that door open. And the first night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I got woke up by this horrible smell, which I should have associated it from the time I was a child because I've been seeing these since I was 6. But I guess it didn't click in my head. I was tired. I'd been up for days taking care of Dad. And I didn't see anything that night. But then the second night, because I had the big windows, I smelled it again. It was late in the night. And I thought I seen the dark shape by that window. Well, that night I did close my bedroom door. I'll be truthful. I closed it. I have a wooden door. I closed it. And on the 4th night, I came out. My routine was at midnight. I would come out of my house. I put a mobile home right in my front yard. So I would walk out my door in a short ways and go in to put Dad to bed. He would not go to bed till it was midnight. Would not. He had to watch the news, his routine. But when I came out and I had this huge cedar tree, I left it. I have a spring at the corner of my house, but there's this big, huge cedar tree. And I seen a dark shape there by that tree, and I smelled the smell. And I carry a pistol because I have coyotes. I have bobcats coming into my barn right now. But I'm hurrying in, so I go down and I go in, and Dad's like, what in the world's wrong with you? What are you acting crazy for? I said, Dad, I think there's a bear out there. It's there by the tree. And he's like, well, show me. But he didn't walk very good. I have to help him where he had the stroke. I helped him over to the door, and he looked at me and he's like, just leave him alone. He'll leave you alone. I said, he ain't doing nothing but watching. And he said, that's all he's going to do as long as you leave him alone. And I was like, you don't mean, you don't tell me that thing came here, it came here. And he said, he's just watching me. And that's what he did.
My friend Jay has a question for you. Are they the same as the watchers in the Bible?
I've been asked that before, and I don't think so. I think they are more, I don't think they're like an archangel, or I don't think they came here to breed with humans. I've heard all kind of different things about the watchers in the Bible, because these are more, they're flesh and blood. Not that they don't have different abilities. Now, that is the other thing is, I know this over my lifetime, they have that, like that hum, like you're listening to a really strong electrical wire current hum. And let me tell you, it can take you to your knees.
Really?
It affects you. It does me. I mean, maybe not everybody. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But for me, they have an ability to fall asleep. And then if they can be standing close by you, and just because you don't see them don't mean they're not there. It's somehow they're when they turn their fur, their hair, whatever you want to call it, has some kind of it's like they're there and they are camouflaged at the same time. The smell, but they don't have the same smell.
Oh, really?
That's the other thing. I've also experienced the horrible stench. It's like decaying, rot, dead animals. But also there's like a earthy, leafy, almost like a flowery type. It's different. There's a different. So I don't know if maybe the older they are, they've been or what they've been in or whatever. But
Right.
I've had that different smell. I've just
Richie
become
B and
accustomed, over my lifetime. I've seen them, and I've had a few experiences that were concerning. Most of the time, it was fine. But just like Dad said, not everybody is good on this earth, and not every one of them are good.
right.
Some are rogue, and so his advice was, act like you got some sense, pay attention to what you're doing, and basically do what I tell you.
This is smart math. Listen, Tim Vogel, my friend Richie B and Wojo, they're Bigfoot investigators up in the New England area, and they have talked about hearing the electrical buzzing sound. Okay. Squatchman, who is a Bigfoot investigator, he's, I do believe, in South Carolina, and he thinks that they could be females. Okay. So in your experience growing up, did you witness more than just one watcher, or
Oh yeah.
like can you share on that?
Okay. Well, like I said, I was 6. The first time I saw one, I was 6, and I was with my dad. My dad dug roots, and there was a county fair.
Before you go on, hon, can you
Okay.
explain to people here in the chat room and out there in 200 other countries that are listening to this, what does it mean by digging roots?
Okay. Well, you got like the ginsengers, people hear you about going sanging. You dig ginseng, it sells for $1,000 a pound, most places. But there's all kind of other roots that's used for medicine. I'm Shawnee. So these are they're herbs that you dig out. They're wild. You go out to the woods, you dig them, you can sell them. We would dig all different kinds. Like I said, there's numerous kinds, and you dry them, you ship them at the end of the season, and that's half of your winter's income there, Or if you're with me that day, I wanted to do something. Dad never gave me everything I ever needed, but he taught me you work, if you're wanting something, you work for it. And
Right.
even though I was 6 years old, so that was the way it was. So the roots, I have my own patch. My son takes care of for me. Well, for instance, my dad had a stroke. He had 10% of his heart worked, 15% of his lungs. And I had been at Christ Hospital for a month, and they decided, they told me he might live a week. And I said, well, then I'm going to go home. We're going to go home because that's what he wants. So I come home, and he told me, he's like, Duke, that's what he called me. He said, go down on the farm. He wanted some cherry bark, some different herbs, to bring them back, make me a paste, wrap my ribs. He lived 2 more years.
Wow.
Didn't use oxygen. I took care of him hand and foot, He didn't move around a lot, but I had my dad for those 2 years, and I had that amazing time for him to go on with my teachings. So
that's really cool.
old time remedies sometimes are the best.
That's what I hear. And I never believed in the old time recipes for healing, but my God, you're just like, my dream come true, because I've been asking these questions like forever. And but now, does the Shawnee, do they respect the Watchers?
Yes. Most people, I had to get permission. I still have some elders. I'm an elder myself, but I still have elderly people that I take care of. I'm a caretaker. That's part of, when I say I'm a caretaker, I mean, I do that as a living, but it's also my responsibility to care for my elders. I cared for my mom and dad. I'm the oldest daughter. It's my responsibility. So we're taught that, that's part of our heritage. The Watchers, the way, they are here to watch over and protect where they're, what they call the moon-eyed people, which I have my theory on that, because part of my family is paleographic. I'm sorry. People? The moon-eyed. So the moon-eyed people. I actually
the moon-eyed people. Okay.
Right. I have some artifacts. They're stone heads that's been left to me, passed down generation to generation. And which I'll send you a picture of them so you can see them. It'll give you a little better perspective on what I'm saying. Okay. There's different theories. There's also, it's like with the Dog Man. There's also a story that goes with the Watchers and the Dog Man.
Oh, really?
It's also a Shawnee legend. I can't tell you that, I can't say this is true. All I can tell you, these are stories that I got permission to use because they're very strict. Shawnee are very strict on our religion, our ceremonies, which I still do. I still honor that. My name is Wabi Ayapia Tamponia. I am the White Wolf Woman.
That is so pretty.
So, through my lifetime, that was given to me by my grandmother. It's not, I've been raised. I was raised I've been raised the white way. I've been raised in the Shawnee way. So both worlds. I'm in both worlds. The Watchers is very important to me, and that's one of the reasons. I'm not looking to get famous. I'm not looking to get rich. The only thing I'm saying is we have so much logging. Our forests are coming down. There's a 400-acre tract that had never been touched in over 200 years, and they're taking it down, which is making the Watchers come out. So people are seeing them more, which is dangerous because you got your non-believers, and I respect everybody's their own belief. That's fine. But I feel like I have I need for the Watchers to be protected, but you also have humans. You have children. People don't believe. So what's going to happen if you get a pissed off Watcher that's 8 foot tall and that's coming in your yard because something's made it mad that day and you don't believe? So you're like, again, I respect everybody's judgment. That's up to them.
Okay.
But, things are changing. I have bobcats coming into my barn. I have coyotes coming down back. Everything in the woods are coming out because they don't have their woods anymore. We're taking their home. Okay. So they're coming to ours.
Do you blame them? Do you blame them?
It's
Joe has a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
He asked you, Donna, what part of the country are you from?
I'm from Ohio. I'm in the country in Ohio.
You're my next door neighbor.
Yep. I'm an old country girl. I've always lived in the country. I spent my life in the country, and I'm going to be here till the day I die. My inspirations, and the kids get mad at me because I said I have a campsite which I'm putting up a small cabin in over this summer. And I said, whenever it comes time for me to go, I just want to go back into my cliffs, to my cabin. You can leave me there. You can just set her on fire and let the coyotes have me, because that's where I want to be.
Cindy Mitch, good to see you. Joe Fox. Joe Fox says, to be of Native American blood is an absolute awesome privilege among us. I'm in love with all the native tribes of this America. Incredible. And so am I. Little back thing for me, Donna. When I really first got into spirituality, I was directed on the path of the Lakota Sioux shaman, Black Elk. Okay. And I personally, their spirituality, all Native American spirituality, is just so beautiful. And it's like downright, it really relaxes me, if you know what I mean. It's just listening to and reading up on it. And I am honored to have you on my show. I am to have you on my show. But being out in the woods, hon, have you, for the people who just came in, we got my buddy Donna here, and she's talking about the Watchers. And if you don't know what the Watchers are, the Shawnee tribe call the Watchers, instead of calling them Bigfoot, they call them the Watchers. And she has had lots of experiences with the Watchers, karma, Bigfoot, so sit back and relax. But I will tell you this, Donna, I'm going to go on a break for about 70 seconds. All right.
Okay.
And we'll be back and we'll finish up on the thing, because there's a lot more questions I want to ask about the Watchers. Okay. But I also want to know if there are any other type of cryptids that you have seen out in the woods, if you care to share.
And I do have an answer for it.
All right, great. So everybody go to the bathroom, smoke a cigarette, do what you got to do. Go get a tea, coffee, whatever you're drinking, and I will be back. And Robert Pasco says, thank you, Donna. I learned a lot tonight. So did I, Robert. Okay, so we are going on the break, and we will return, and all life is going to be great, because I'm just happy she's here. I'm just so happy you're here.
Are you ready to explore the unknown? Dive into the world of the strange, mysterious, and unexplained with Eerie Expeditions magazine. Each issue is packed with spine-tingling tales, cutting-edge paranormal investigations, and exclusive insights into hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, and more. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or just love a good ghost story, Eerie Expeditions magazine has something for you. Join our growing community of truth seekers and adventure lovers. Subscribe today at EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com and unlock the secrets of the supernatural. Are you ready? That's EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com, where the extraordinary is just a click away. Dare to.
The Church of Mavis radio show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the second part of the show, Into the Night, with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 New Orleans, Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And also want to thank my friend Runa. She is oh boy, I lost it. No, I didn't. Did I? Nope, I didn't. She's a psychic medium and palm reader at the Steel Goat Marketplace, Rhode Island Road, Penn Hills, PA. It's a great little gift shop, and they have beautiful plant and flowers at the garden center. And don't forget, Ladies' Night, first Thursday of the month from 5 to 8, and see Runa to get a reading. Okay, welcome back. The first half we talked. I'm with my dear friend Donna Copas tonight, and she is the Watcher's maid. And real quick backstory: she is Shawnee. She's part of the Shawnee, and instead of calling the Bigfoot the Shawnee, call them the Watchers. And I think that gives a lot of respect to the Bigfoot. So welcome back, Donna, for the second half. Heidi says that my 3 children are quarter Shawnee, their dad's side. Joe says, funny thing is the real savages were the white man. Okay. I kind of agree.
I think it's that could be a double-edged sword there. So I can tell you that we did have, which is I'm descended from. There was a Shawnee warrior. It was a women's society, and believe me, what's handed down to me was, if you got captured, pray the men got you, not the women.
Oh wow! Oh, that's something.
That was, yeah.
Thanks for telling me that. I'm glad I got a Shawnee friend here, so they might kind of back me up on this and stuff. But we're going to we're going to get into other cryptids. Do you have any dealings with the Mothman?
I went to the festival. I mean, I've heard that story forever. And of course, I've seen different things. The Mothman, I believe there's something there. I'm not, yes, I believe. I do believe that, I believe that's legitimate. Whether it was a warning, for what was going to happen. My grandma was what they called born in a veil. My other name is the Dream Walker because of my dreams. And let's just say I have this ability sometimes to know things and see things or whatever. And with the Mothman, can I explain it? No, I can't explain it, but I do believe.
Okay. So, being out in the woods, in the Appalachia, what other cryptids have you seen?
Well, like I touched on earlier, I had heard the story about the dog man, which I'd never really seen that as a child or growing up or anything like that. I heard the stories. And then in October of last year, I do hikes. I mean, I'll hike 10 miles. I go deep in woods. And on this day, there was a young lady that I was hiking with, and another girl. And she wanted to show me a new place. She said they'd had some watcher activity there, and which I did see a lot of markers and signs. And we had been there because we went deep woods in. We were on our way back out, and it was probably a mile from where the car was at. And we'd passed some hunters. It was around, I guess it was deer season. I don't know. They were up in the trees anyway. And but I looked down the trail, and I saw it was first I thought it was a turkey, you know, the big black tom turkeys, you know, the bronzes. And I'm like, because I asked, like, do you see it? What is that? And she's like, I don't know, because it was moving. And the farther we went, because we kept moving, and we realized, you know, this is big. This thing is big. Well, I didn't even have a phone with me or anything. I don't carry it with me in the woods because they usually don't get their service. And I left it in the car. She had a fairly good phone camera. So she tried taking a picture, and it was kind of blurry because we couldn't see. And she's looking around. She goes, so, well, I hope somebody didn't turn a dog loose. You know, I hate it when they do that, you know, because I'm seeing it, and the farther we go, the bigger this thing is getting. And went on some farther, and there was a doe deer jumped on. It was on the right-hand side of me. And she jumped up and took off up through the woods. Well, when I go into the woods, I carry a pistol. I carry a 380, which isn't a big gun, but, you know, because you do have coyotes, you got snakes, you know, you got people. And when you're in a familiar area, I carry a gun. And she's looking around because I have a walking stick because I'm getting older. So that's my help, you know. And she's looking around. She finds a little stick there, and she's like, what is that? And we're going farther and farther. And finally, I was like, it's like a dog that had a head like a German Shepherd. And of course, it's big, and it's tracking. It's like it's tracking back and forth across the trail, back and forth and back and forth. It's like, well, maybe somebody's throwing a ball, and it's a dog, and somebody's throwing a ball, and it's, you know, like chasing or whatever. And we keep going, and I'm getting concerned, you know, because it's getting bigger. The closer we're getting, the bigger it's getting. So I done flipped my pouch around, and I kicked off the safety, and I run my hand down in the pouch. I don't even think they even knew I had the other girls, because they're looking too. And it's like, you know, they're like me. What is that? And after that deer jumped up and went off through the woods, though, we had gotten fairly close. And like I said, I was getting, you know what I call it, heebie-jeebies. You know, you start to crawl. It's like something ain't right. I don't like this. I just don't like this. And it went off to the right. The last time it came up on two legs, and it was the size of a man, and it had a head like it's like a German Shepherd head, massive. Oh, wow. And honestly, to this day, I never saw a wolf. You know, maybe German Shepherds do get bigger, but not coming up on their legs the way that came up on its legs. So I have a question in my mind. I still question what I saw. What was it? But there was no way for us to get out except to go through where it was at. So the closer we're getting, it is stone quiet. There's no bugs. There's no birds. There's no, you know, and it's evening time, and it's not dark, but it's getting dusky, you know. And there's no sound that should be there. And it was like every hair on my head is standing up. I'm on complete guard, you know. And I grew up, like I said, I grew up in the country. I don't scare. I don't run. I'll face down a coyote. I faced down a bobcat in my barn. He ran. I didn't. But we get up there, and we was driving my daughter's car, which is a new car. And I had, you know, the key fob to unlock the car, right? And there's no reason for that fob to be dead. It wouldn't unlock it. It was dead. The battery in the fob was dead. So I had to unlock it by hand. And she wanted to go to the bathroom, and I'm just getting the heck in the car. You know, I'm thinking, I don't like this because everything about it, all my sensors are going off. Danger. That's how I felt. And I don't do that because I am used to seeing, like with the watchers, some people do like coyote calls and different calls to call them in. I play, I have like flute music or drumming. I have a place where I go back and I put my music on. I have there's a greenhouse, and I have a little cot there. I'll just lay down and sleep. To me, it's comforting. Not that I didn't have some issues last year with that too. I ended up getting hit, but that was the closest thing I could ever say that I saw that was possibly a dog man, because I still have that. In the legend that I was told about the dog man was in the way hundreds of years ago, some of the medicine men, the shaman, were doing bad things. They were wanting the power for themselves. And with the Watchers, they had just did some bad things. And the Watchers were coming. This is the story that was told. The Watchers were coming, and they were stealing like the women and the children. Not all of them. It's just like I said, some's good, some's bad. But there was bad ones that basically the shamans had caused. And for them to drive them away and fight them, they said the dogmen were created through the shaman, the good shaman, to help protect the people. And the legend says the dogmen run with the Watchers. They hunt together. Now that part, this is just stories that I was told. I'm not going to say that's true. I don't know. But through my whole life, up until October of last year, the Watchers, yes, I've seen them since I was 6. I've seen different ones, different colors, different ages. But that was the first time I ever saw that.
That was interesting. And I just want to say they do exist. And what I really, because there's a big debate on how the dogmen came to be. And I believe, I don't know, I had a good feeling in my heart about that they were made by the shaman in order to, it just fits what I've been thinking and studying for a long time. It fits where my conclusion has come up, and I truly appreciate you telling that story. Now, I'm from Pittsburgh, all right? And I'm a city boy, okay? Me and the country don't get along, right? So if I decided to go out into the woods, what kind of signs will I notice, or what would I look to see that would show me that that area is full of Watchers?
Well, like I said, the tree structures, they look like teepees. Those poles, the trees that those are made with, they're independent. It's not like trees fell over and glom together. They will be independent. They'll be broken off and then formed. You'll also find them where they manipulate a tree, into this. It's the clan sign that says, okay, this is my clans. It's just like the Shawnee clans. We have numerous different clans. We have the Wolf clan, the hawk, the turtle, the deer. There's different clans. So they have different clans. There's also, you'll find stones. The stones that are stacked, usually what I've found to be true and what, from my growing up, in those stones, they're odd. There'll be something unique about them, and they'll be piled into some kind of a symbol, or they also use those for, they'll leave little gifts for you on those stones too. You'll find the X's, in the trees. There'll be like 2 trees laid down like X's, but you'll also find a Y. It's like this, like the Y. I'm a dowser too, also dows. But that Y, it's a trail marker. If you think about what you're looking at, I grew up I was taught to track from the time I was a child with my dad, hunting and doing that kind of stuff. You don't just follow the tracks. You're going to look for broken twigs. You're going to look for the footprint in the grass, on the stones in the creek, just numerous things. But there's also those markers. It's a why, and that shows them, say, there's in that area, they got a new guy comes in. It's just like, somebody's new's moving into the neighborhood. They're either accepted or they're ran off. And if they're accepted, they put down their marker. This is a safe area. This is where you can find food. That kind of thing.
Okay.
So, it's, are they part, I don't know. I can't say that they're, I guess, part animal or whatever, but they're very intelligent. They have an intelligence there and different things. So, maybe it's
what you were saying before earlier. Each of the watchers have their own separate clans.
They have different clans, yes.
Okay.
There's different colors. Well, like here right now, there's two, which I've never really, they're white. And I've kind of thought about it in my head. Are they just that old that they turned white? Like our hair gets gray. Because I've seen them, you got the dark ones, the reddish brown, a tan. There's a tan color. It's not white. It's not brown. It's tan. The two white ones, I believe I call him the old grandfather. And I think, of course, my dad was born in 1927, so he'd be like 98 years old. And evidently his watcher that came within a month of Dad passing away, he went away. But he had been with Dad his whole life.
Okay.
And so he's old. So he's white. I don't see him after Dad passed away. I've probably seen him a couple times. He has a very unique call, howl, scream, whatever you want to call it. He has a different sound. But and that's the other thing. And as crazy as this sounds, like I talk to you, I could pick you out of a crowd. If I hear your voice, I'll know your voice,
Right.
So when I hear their calls, I can tell who's who because I know their voice.
Do you ever gift them?
Yes. I make, my grandma made these apple stack cakes. They're homemade. She cooked the apples and the apples are cooked into the cakes. They're all made homemade.
Oh,
and then I use, I make applesauce, and that's the icing. So I will make those. And I do other stuff too. Like I don't hunt. I mean, I've hunted in my life, but if I hunt, it's for food or to feed somebody that needs the food. And this year, I hadn't hunted for years. And this year, we'd had a flood and the electric had went out. We had some bad storms. So some of the older people, their freezers went out. It was out for like 9 days. So we lost, they lost food. So I decided, because my boys, they'll hunt deer, turkey, whatever, and they always share. But this year I decided, I'm gonna go and kind of give back, because I also have I have a poultry farm, so I get about 4 dozen eggs a day. I don't sell my eggs; I donate them. I give them to I take them to church.
You're an angel. That's what it comes down to. You're an angel. You really are.
Anything that I take from the woods, I give back. I will take a gift back. I'll take part of my meat back, and I'll put it out. I have different areas I go to, and I leave my gifts there, and they will leave me. I've gotten like the arrow straighteners. It's a rock, but that's what Shawnee, Native Americans use. Flint. They make the arrows with arrowheads, But the arrow straightener, you cut the shaft, you cut the, the tree, and that's your shaft. But this has a hole in it, and it's a rock. I've been called stupid that that's just a stupid old rock. But what you do is you run that up and down the shaft, and it smooths it and it straightens it because you heat it, and then you straighten it. So when you put your, because we still make, my son he naps. He even makes the bone knives. Like when we kill a deer, we use the hide. He uses the leg bones. He makes knives out of those, right down to when you split the bone. There's a seam in there, and that's the blooder. So the sinew, we pull the sinew and dry it. That's to wrap the bone. That's to wrap the knives with. To put the blade in. He makes blades out of the bone. He also makes blades out of the flint. So he makes paddles. Everything we get, it's used. We don't. If you're going to kill an animal and take its life, then you better respect it enough that you don't throw that out. That's just.
God bless you, Donna. I have one more question, then we have to get going here. Okay. CL wants to know: did they make pointer trees that way?
I'm sorry, I can hear you.
Did they make pointer trees that way?
Oh, you mean for markers in the woods? Yes, you'll find different markers. You just have to know what you're looking for and realize it's kind of amazing the things that you learn, and it's like tracking. I've seen them camouflage their footprint like in a horse's track. A horse has got the shoe on, you got a big horse. But I've seen them actually camouflage. There'll be the footprint, the watcher's footprint, which are huge, which I have some casts and different things. But anyway,
oh man,
that's that. So it's like it would be like I would go, if I went into the woods, I'll be truthful with you. If I went into the woods, my dad has taught me I can disappear.
I'm going with you. I need to learn. You got to change.
Well, anytime. Anytime.
Definitely great, but we do have to go, Donna. Thank you very much for coming on the show tonight. I am definitely going to have you on again. And we're going to talk about the Appalachia, okay? In the tree, in the forest people, okay? So everybody who's listening and people in the chat, she will be back on. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents, if you have no children, please find somebody and tell them that you love them, because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. Good night, everybody. And don't forget, I got Eric and Tim Vogel coming on Tuesday night. And on that note, good night. See you Tuesday night.